I just want to sing a little song here based on what's called Talking Blues. Talking Blues goes back about 100 years in this country. And I've written a few Talking Blues songs. This one's kind of irreverent, but we'll try and get through it. Well, it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, abracadabra, but I don't know. I wrote a song, but it's got no tune. If I start playing in March, I can finish by June. It's kind of long. If you want to do neuro, let me tell you what to do. You got to study the brain and the spinal cord. Don't bother about GI or infectious disease or those other smelly specialties. Just remember, the brain has no foul secretions. So you do a residency and a fellowship to get your credentials, and you'll know what to do. You're seeing patients with headaches by the dozens and dozens. You're seeing their aunts and their uncles and some of their cousins. The more you treat their spells and all their pains, you shock their nerves and stick wires in their brains. The more you shock them, the more they pay. You can even get very rich that way. Live in a mansion. Send your kids to Duke. But don't choose the wrong specialty or you could go broke. Have to move to a double wide. Send your kids to state. Well, it's hickory dickory chicory dock. The mouse ran up the grandfather clock. I finally discovered why he ran up there. He needed to change his underwear and check the neuro call schedule. Found out he was going to be on Duke consults till 2030. So he scrambled back down the clock and ran home and drank a gallon of mouse poison. This next verse is called A New MRI. A while back I came to in the Dookie D. There was a bunch of newbies surrounding me. I said, am I having some kind of bad dream? They said, no, we're the residents from the neuro team. We're going to examine you, find out what's wrong with you. So they stuck me with needles all around, beat me with hammers up and down. Gouged my feet with a 9-inch nail, caused me to holler, weep and wail. Actually, I just said ouch. I put wail in there because I needed something that rhymed with nail. You can probably tell I make some of this stuff up as I go along. The next part here is about a new MRI. A while back I came to in the Dookie D. There was a bunch of children. Oh, I already did that part. I get mixed up here. Oh yeah. This is kind of weird, so I'll get mixed up in here. I said they still couldn't find what was wrong with me, but there's a new machine that'll help us see. It's a 9th generation MRI, just arrived last night, so we'll give it a try. That machine's a beast. It's got Teslas galore. The specs say 33, but you can get 34. You just switch on the afterburner and fire a little booster rocket. They're uncrating that machine right now. topping off its Tesla tank. Plan to launch it early in the morning. You'll be our very first victim, patient that is. That should have been a little warning flag. So they took me down to that big machine. It was the meanest machine that I've ever seen. In the middle it had this long, narrow tube. To get me in there, I'm going to need a whole lot of lube. Lubrication, that is. So they slathered me over with some kind of jelly from my head to my feet and, of course, my belly. They got me all ready without any clothes, even my nose. God only knows why I had to leave those and most of my toes in the dressing room. They said not to worry. I could have all that stuff back after the ordeal if I was still alive. So they pushed and they shoved and finally stuffed me in there. There was just room for me and one little hair. Oh, they said to hold still, I should have had no fears. The most I could move was to wiggle my ears. One at a time. Then they pushed this toggle and that thing went to banging, whistling and screaming, knocking and clanging. I can't begin to tell how it made me feel, combine that awful magnetic field. First it sucked all the fillings out of me, then it sucked the blood from every RBC. Sucked the iron from every RBC. Excuse me. In fact, by the time they finished with me in there, all that was left of me looked kind of like a little cheeseburger. Later they said they had to scrape and scour for a week and a day and a half of an hour. To get me out of that bad machine, they used a barrel of Clorox and some Mr. Clean. But they finally recovered most of my parts, even my fillings, 2 little farts. I asked them, I said, if you guys are so smart, why didn't you just reverse that field in there and reassemble me in that tube? They said they could, but that would be real pricey. And while I was in that machine, my insurance ran out. And I was just going to have to go through life looking like a cheeseburger. Actually, I found out if you're a cheeseburger, it helps when you go out to put on a little ketchup. And practice social distancing. Stay 6 feet away from hungry people. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard, but found that the cupboard was bare. It boggled her mind, because all she could find was the mouse's dirty underwear. So she hung them on the clock. This next part's about stroke codes. That's my favorite subject. We were called on a stroke code to the Veterans ED, so we rushed on down there to see. They said, we've got a vet, he's in a real bad way. We think he's going to need some TPA. Got a real bad headache. Says it's a 94. 94 out of 10. You can't take it no more. I asked him, I said, is this the worst headache of your life? He said, gosh, I don't know. I haven't lived that long yet. Why don't you come back and ask me that question after I'm dead? I'll probably know by then. But headaches weren't his only problem. So he read from a list that he pulled from his pocket. He said, my left eyeball don't fit in its socket. My axon's itched and my dendrites twitch. And my brother-in-law, my mother-in-law is a mean old witch. and my synapses are all in a dither. He said my bird won't sing and my dog won't bark. My stools are blue and they glow in the dark. And ever since this COVID thing, I ran out of toilet paper. So I called my rich uncle and told him about the problem. He found a solution. He sent me a big box of fresh new dollar bills. They work okay, but they're a little scratchy. That's when I decided this guy's not for real. He's 2 fries short of a Happy Meal. So I tracked down the ER doc and said, you know, your guy down here at number 5, he may be just a little outside the window of the TPA. He said, well, since you're down here anyway, there's a dozen vets down that long hall. We want you to go and check them all. They might have neuro problems. I said, what do you mean, might have neuro problems? Did you even take a history? He said, no, man, that neuro stuff, why, that's just a mystery. Besides, I've been busy here. I've been doing my nails. See, ain't they pretty? Got a hot date tonight. My girlfriend really loves them. So you all go on and start seeing those other patients. I haven't finished here yet. I've still got to do my toes. I just said SLMF. That's neuro resident code for so long, my friend. This next part's about headaches, new treatments for headaches. If you're going insane from that dreadful migraine, no need to complain, don't bother your brain. We got MIBs and MABs to get rid of that pain. They work every time, come shine or come rain. They don't just treat headaches, they cure lots of conditions. So if you're a patient with headaches, rabies or cabies, mother with migraine, babies with scabies, we can cure all those conditions with one treatment. This new nab's the greatest drug we've ever seen. It's a headache preventer and virus vaccine. Corona, that is. We got bibs and babs and dibs and dabs. We got bibs and babs, whips and wabs. We've even got Vicks. Say your brain feels so big, your head might explode. You dial 911 and called in a code. If no treatment works, your head just gets fatter. It's driving you crazy. You're mad as a hatter. We got iVig for this and Aimovig for that. They shrink your head by 2 sizes. Now it fits in your hat. And they can also cure your goldfish's headaches, even your cats. Well, it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, abracadabra, and I still don't know. I'm just trying to find words that rhyme, talking the blues and biding my time, looking for clues at the scene of the crime. I'm getting kind of thirsty, so I think I'll just quit here.